Hi, boys and girls. Yes, you boys and girls out there in this great listening world. You are listening to Nicko McBrain from Iron Maidening. Oh, for God's sake. Iron Maidening. Iron Maidening. Don't do it. I'll start that again. Hi, boys and girls. This is Nicko McBrain from Iron Maiden, and you are listening to Metal Express. And don't touch that dial.
Hey, Nicko, stop playing that. Save some of that dynamite for tonight, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. Don't want to lose all my bullets today right before the gig, do I? Well, I'll just put my drum stool back. Hey! Right. Hello, boys and girls.
So, you warm up a lot before you play your shows? I mean, you're going on stage in about 2 hours?
Yeah, no, I haven't actually. This is the first tour I brought a small drum kit into a dressing room. Well, you know, a spare room. This is the first tour. Premier have made this little drum kit, which I first saw earlier this year at the Frankfurt trade show. In fact, I saw it last year at the factory, and I said, this is a beautiful drum kit. It's small enough to transport without having too much of a problem. It's a 4-piece drum kit, 1 cymbal and a hi-hat. And so I thought, well, great. Depending on what song we were going to start the set with, which we're starting with Wicker Man, which has got a very fast bass drum part in the choruses, and I thought, well, I'm getting a bit old, and I need to sort of loosen up the old joints a bit before, right. And I thought, well, what better way than to have a little like 10-15 minutes of practicing, just messing around with the kit, and then doing the Wicker Man on my own and getting my foot working, because it's very important that. It has to be, each beat has to be precise. It can't be a ghost stroke in there, and otherwise it just loses its whole essence of what the rhythm side of that song's all about. And so it's nice to be able to actually get in and have a bit of a practice.
Sure. You're back on the road. Are you feeling good?
Feeling the best ever, man. Yeah, it's. I feel a little more tired and kind of physically more fatigued. You know, because I'm that much older than I was on the last tour. Well, no, not really. That's just a year older since the not what I'm talking about, the Ed Hunter tour. But no, we're having more fun on stage as a band than we've ever had, I think. I mean, it was great. When I first joined the band in '83, it was just incredible. I mean, we were at the height of the real popular side of Maiden, and we were just doing these amazing big gigs, which we're doing again now. But the energy in the band, it's so much stronger than it was then. And we're all having such a good time out there. And not that we didn't before, but it's just, it's like the old, get married, get divorced, and get remarried. And it's always better the second time around. Yeah. So they say.
I talked to your guitar player Dave a couple of months ago, and he promised me a big, great stage production like you had in the 80s.
You better go and have a word with him.
Yeah.
No, we have something very similar to what we were carrying in the mid-80s, yeah. We've got, Eddie's there as always, but sure. We've got a lot, and we've gone back to the big pyrotechnic show and the special effects in the show, and there's a couple of surprises that are probably not surprises now if people read the internet, but having not seen it in person, it's not a surprise if you just read it on the internet, but it is a surprise when you see it, I think. So yes, we've gone back. We're carrying a pretty big production this time.
You've played in Norway several times, and the last time you played here, you played in a much smaller place, and now you're back at the top. I think you're playing in front of a sold-out Oslo Spectrum. Does that mean much to you that you can feel Oslo Spectrum again, or is that important?
Yeah, well, it's always very, very nice to be able to sell out bigger shows. Of course it is, and to have more people buy your album. But the most satisfying thing out of it at the end of this all is that more people are coming back into, or not back into maybe, but yeah, I don't know, I think it's a cross-section. People that were into the band, that are grown up, Bruce has come back, they've come out, they've taken the suits off, they've put the t-shirts on, and they come to a show. Then you get the new generation of fans that come in, and so there's a lot more people going out buying metal music in general. And it's such a great vibe to be at the forefront, or like on the top of the tsunami wave of heavy metal that's regenerated in this year 2000, in the new millennium. Obviously, from a business point of view, it's very flattering for us to be able to do that, but we've never really been a band about numbers. as such. We've always been a band about making the best music and the best album we can and write the best songs, and we're very selfishly motivated. When I say that, I mean we don't just take the money and run. We always put it back into whatever we do on the next project, because we think the fans, they've supported us all these years, so we don't want to come around and skimp around the edges. I mean, there was a few tours where we went back and cut the production back because we just weren't getting into selling so many albums and playing in the smaller venues, you know. So you can work the figures out from there, but it's such a blessing to be able to come out and still do this and play the way we are. As I said, we're having the best time we've ever had. And there's 6 of us now, and I've got the safest place in the house, believe me, right in the back of my own little box, There's none of that wood and metal flying around.
You're also doing some festivals on this tour. How do you feel about playing festivals with a lot of other bands? I mean, I'm sure you headline all the festivals you do, but
we have on this tour. Yeah, I think we are doing. In fact, all the shows we are playing, we're on headlining the bill. But it's great because. Festivals, it's a great vibe because everyone's there for the same thing, just to go crazy and have a good time and party and just wallow in the mud, because 9 times out of 10 it pisses with rain wherever we play. The vibe playing with the other bands is great. I like to try and get down a little bit earlier than normal to see some of the show, some of the other acts, and I haven't had that much opportunity this tour so far, but I'm going to, I'm down here early tonight. I want to see Entombed. I haven't seen them yet. And I saw a bit of Slayer the other night, and 1 or 2 others. But it's a great vibe. And, the thing that really makes a great festival is the organisation. Yeah. I mean, the kids, wherever you play in front of, whether it's a festival or the Spectrum, you've got 8, 10,000, 5,000 screaming Billy Bunters. It doesn't matter whether you're in a field or in a show. That's the essence of the actual show. But it's the organisation really that makes a lot of the festivals work, and they've all been stunning so far. Everybody's been very good.
You said you're older now. You're a bit tired, maybe. Sometimes.
Who said that?
I don't know. I remember.
Yeah, I do physically feel it a lot more than
I remember back in the 80s, you did the World Slavery Tour about 2 years or so.
Yeah.
Is it possible to do that again?
Well, it is. It's possible. You can always do it, but I don't think we probably either one. It would literally kill each one of us, mate. No, I wouldn't. No, the long tour like that, it was a peace of mind thing. Note the pun. It was a peace of mind thing more than the actual physical side of things. It was more mental. It was more mental fatigue, And now, of course, we're all, it's like 17 years down the road, and every one of us in the band have children and wives and family to think about. So the long tours are not going to work for us anymore. It's very difficult trying to balance the two, as it is at the moment, and we're only doing a 5-month tour, which is probably one of the shortest, with the exception of Ed Hunter. But Ed Hunter wasn't promoting an album. No. But so take that out of the equation. This is the shortest tour we've ever done to promote a new product, as far as an album. I think the schedule that we're working to is identical to what we did on the Peace of Mind. Like we're doing 3 shows, day off, 2 shows, day off, 1 show, day off, 3, that kind of routine. Even in America, we've got 1 run of 4 in a row, which was what we used to do, actually, more so in the early days, when Bruce was a lot younger. I can do 4 gigs in a row. But as you get older, and the intensity of the show gets that much more, I find. You'd think that the older you get, the less you'd like lean back on things, but you don't. In fact, people say to us, they've never seen us play as wildly, as crazy, as animated as all the running around. Bruce is like a banshee on stage. Yannick's a nutcase. I mean, even Dave and even Adrian's moving about. Yeah. And Adrian, you never see him move. He was almost the John Entwistle of heavy metal, of a guitar player. But because John, as you know, he never used to move from in front of his microphone. He'd step back a couple of paces. But so it's great. It works fine for us, and I think maybe reason I'm feeling it a little bit more is because we are kind of just going at it. It's really fantastic. I can't describe how it feels when you get up and play though. There's new stuff off the album live. It's just spectacular. It really is.
Is it hard to pick the set list?
Very, very hard. Yeah. I'm not complaining about it because it's a wonderful position to be in where you're going, well, what can we do? Well, we've got this, we've got that. Oh, no, if we don't do that, we don't do that. If we do this, we can't do, and you find that you put your set list together and you go, oh, no, and that's 8 minutes.
Is there much arguing?
No, never argue. Yeah, a little bit. No, I want to do it. I'm not going on tour unless I do Hello, Be Thy Name. Kind of that sort of thing. But there's never any bad arguments about it. It's all very diplomatic, and what we all try and do is we all put ideas in the pot of our favourite songs to play, and there are so many of them. And you usually find that there's 3 of us want to do one song. Oh, well, that's going to be in then. And you kind of jiggle it around, and then you think, oh, hang on a minute, we've forgotten Sanctuary, or we've forgotten Rothschild, and you go, oh, gosh, yeah, well, let's take that one out and put it in. And in rehearsals, we find that we kind of tend to do an extra few songs and put them in, and then we decide upon, as we go down, and the first early, at the moment, we set this particular set list had Fallen Angel, and we also rehearsed Silent Planet for the tour. Mm-hmm. And we would run through the set with both of these songs in different places, and then we finally set in, well, we'll not do Silent Planet. This is strange, because it's a great song. But sometimes you've got to think of how it would fit into a live situation. You can't really tell sometimes until you actually do it. It might feel great in a rehearsal situation, and you get out there and it's like, oh no, corners have gone to sleep in that bit, Who knows? So we ended up not putting Silent Planet in, and now Fallen Angel. We were changing it each night. We alternate between Mercenary and Fallen Angel, but now we've decided that Fallen Angel, we're going to leave it till later in the tour, where we're going to do some recording, obviously, sometime for this tour, and we'll probably put it back in the set just to record it live. But Mercenary really, really works very well where it is in the set. So that's in there, and Fallen Angel sort of second division.
What are your live favorites of your new album, Brave New World?
Blood Brothers, for sure. We do the...
I believe that's a song getting the crowd going.
Well, it seems that we kick off with Wicker Man anyway, and as that's done very well for us as a single. It's been very well received, a lot of radio play, and whereas we normally wouldn't get radio,
no.
A lot of sales on that. We've had some terrific chart positions over the last few weeks. So that as a set opener, that gets the kids there right there from the start, and then we do Ghost of the Navigator next, and that's a great song for me to play because I just like the rhythmic nuances in there. There's a very tricky little bass drum part, so I have to get the meter right. A lot of our Maiden songs we tend to push a little bit when we play live, but there are certain songs on this new album that I cannot physically, like Wicker Man I can't play too fast because of the bass drum part. Mm-hmm. The Ghost of the Navigator I can't play. If I get it too fast I can't get the little triplet on the bass drum in there, in the verses. Plus it does have a 16 part bass drum part and a second part of the solo. Things like that, but Blood Brothers is a gem to play live, and the title track, Brave New World, and then we come down later, and Mercenary, I mean, they're all great to play. Mercenary is great because it's a straight song. There's no drum fills, there's one drum fill in it, which is absolutely fantastic. And, it's totally reversed for me, because I'm normally fills all over the place. Mm-hmm. And Steve said to me, don't want any bloody drum fills in this song. And I had this blazing argument with him about it. And I'm going, well, you can't do that. I'm a drummer. That's not the way I play. And he went, no, don't give the chorus away. Don't give this bit away. And I went, well, and I thought to myself, sod that. I won't do any drum fills for the whole song. So I played it. And there is one drum fill when it comes out of the solo section. It goes back into the chorus. And then there's a double chorus at the end. And we finish the tune. And it really works great. But so I love playing that live because it's a real kind of groove for Maiden. There's all these different little motifs in it that turn it around and stuff. And it's difficult. But Blood Brothers, I think, is probably my favourite song to play because it's got so much light and shade in it. And there's this kind of it's like a kind of a waltz groove. There's a kind of a 3/4 motif through it. Yeah. And so it's a really nice song to play live. And it goes down very well.
You said you were going to record a couple of shows later on this tour.
I think so, yeah.
Can we expect another live album or a live video from
I think what we're going to do is we're planning something a bit special, which I can't really let the cat out of the bag too much, because if I do, then they'll probably kill me. But so boys and girls, you'll have to wait for that. But we are going to be doing some recording. It may be that we might put out a live album, but a lot of people expect us to do that because that's what we tend to do. Each tour, and this is a very special tour because it's the Millennium Tour for the band, and it's the first tour promoting a new album with the new lineup, or the old new lineup, or however you want to look at it. So something very special is going to be done towards the end of the year of touring. But I can't let you know.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Maybe you can reveal something else for me. When I saw you in the 80s, I was always wondering about Eddie. Is there a guy inside there, or is it a machine?
Oh, I can't let that cat out of the bag. Actually, many years ago, when people asked me that question, and I was convincing at the time. I'm not so convincing anymore, but I used to kid people on there were 3 midgets.
Right.
On top of each other. One was doing the legs, one would do the arms, one would do the head. And people actually fell for it. No, there is a man whose name is not Eddie, but we call him Eddie because he animates. We've had many different people over the years, either tour managers, security assistants, and people that have come in and have had a magic and bring Eddie to life, animated him. But Jeff, his name is Jeff, the guy who takes care of Eddie. And he is a personification of Eddie. When he puts he gets in the costume, and he's on stilts, so he's got false legs, obviously, because he's so tall, Eddie. I think he's like 12 foot tall, and he just comes out, and it really does look incredibly animated. And that's not a light piece of equipment. But there's a man inside. There's a man inside.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome.